Welcome to another episode of Angels, Positivity and Love. Incredible experts the world over with amazing insights. They've been through some sort of transformative journey, usually on their own directly, that has allowed them to turn around and want to give service to others. That's what makes this show so fantabulous. Probably 20 countries represented. We've had doctors, psychotherapists, healers, New York Times bestsellers, Watkins 100 list experts, Super Soul Sunday from Oprah experts, even a White House physician to the US president, another doctor who does refugee camps all over the world who's won a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award plus the Order of Australia, and the youngest Delta Force operator ever at the age of 23. He's in his 50s today. He's a naturopath on the side. That's how he was on the show. I'd like to welcome super cool guest from LA. She's publisher of Best Holistic Life magazine. She's won a lot of accolades. That magazine's over 1 million in subscribers. She's going to brand herself, but she's been at this a long time. She does NLP or neuro-linguistic programming. She also does a form of hypnotherapy that's the rapid transformational therapy that's very popular. First of all, Jana Short, I'd like to welcome you to the show. You've got a great laugh. We were playing around a little bit before the show.
Thank you, Michael. I am so excited to be here today. I've already got goosebumps everywhere.
Well, we took some steps before the show. You're clearly hyper intuitive. We'll blow some sage later and do a little bit of joy as an angel for you and for the audience to participate in. That's the thing that I forgot to say for everybody. This is a show that's different than most. I'd say it's wholly unique in that no guest has to do anything. It's kind of like our daily rub. What will we allow for daily? More joy, more love? Good luck with that. But twice a day, maybe. So guests can take steps with angels. You can take steps as an audience member. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. In a second, you're about to hear her laughing, plus sharing pivotal moments in her life where stuff may have happened. She totally believes in angels. I'm excited to have her here. Jana, how did you figure out that the universe was so big, that love could be the fabric of the universe? Angels exist. Where do you want to go first?
I first found that out when I was, I think, 15. And they've been such a huge part of my life since I was young, guiding me and intervening in my life from time to time. So I'm a young believer and extremely intuitive. I mean, I have learned to respect your intuitiveness and to listen to that inner pull. And so, by the way, it hasn't always been easy. There's times the monkey brain gets in the way and talks you out of going into that pull. But for me, now that I'm older, I free fall. If there's something that the universe is pulling me to, I stop asking questions and I just drop into it. And it has been the best decade of my life.
Oh, really well said. Do you have a moment of serendipity, synchronicity, possibly an angel? It was a sparkly-eyed stranger for a second that you can share.
I don't know if I do. Like, I feel like they have been so much in my life for so long. I recognize angels when I know a period of grief is coming, but it wasn't for the grief. It was for the connection here before that spirit departed. So before any of my family members have departed this world onto their next part of their journey, I was given a heads up, basically. And that gave me an opportunity to really connect and say everything I had to say and let them leave with all the feelings that I had for them. And it's been so easy to say my goodbyes this way. Here I am in my 60s. So I've lost a lot of people. And every single time I've had that opportunity, they've nudged me like, you need to call this person, or you need to like be aware of them in your life and make sure they know how you feel. So for me, that's been the most empowering part of the angels playing a role in my life.
Have you had a dream time experience of a relative or anybody else?
Yes, not that long ago, last year, I had this very, very vivid dream of my aunt and uncle. They live in Utah, so they're a ways away from me. And I was so excited. I ran up and hugged them, and they were by their horse trailer. And I hugged them both, and my aunt hugged me. She's not a hugger, so it was very unusual in this dream to have her give me a big hug. And my uncle, when I went to hug him, he put his hand out and he said, no, I haven't had my COVID shot. And I said, oh, okay. So we fist bumped and I was telling him how much I loved him. And he told me how proud he was of me. And I woke up. So you have lots of dreams, but for me, when I woke up, this dream was still so vivid. Like, what is going on? So I immediately called my cousin who lives very close to them in Utah. and said, "What's going on with Uncle Jimmy?" She's like, "Oh, I was just going to call you. Uncle Jimmy is transitioning into his next part of his journey." And I said, "Oh, are you kidding me?" And she says, "No, I was calling you to see if you wanted to come to say goodbye." I'm like, "I feel like I already did." Like, I feel like that was my moment to say my goodbyes. And he received that because I believe he's half in this world, half in the other. And he was able to come to me and say goodbye and tell me those things and let me know. And within an hour, he had moved on to the next part of his journey.
Mm, that's incredible. Okay. Tell us a little bit about Holistic Life Mag. If I said it correctly, I mispronounced everything. But you've got a very popular magazine. It's not like it's 20 years old, but it's done very well. And tell us the secret to success and also what it's about.
So the magazine started in 2019. And thank goodness, it was a good thing COVID was around because everybody was wanting to eat up all this stuff, right? Holistic. And so it just happened to happen at the exact right time. But Best Holistic Life magazine is where I give an opportunity for people who are of service and they're educated in what they're teaching. When you go on to social media looking for answers, you have the ability to tap into the entire world, right? Everybody in every corner of the world. In Africa, I go to villages where they don't have fresh water, but they have cell phones. And so you're able to tap in everywhere. Unfortunately, when you're able to tap into the world like that, sometimes not so great information is being fed to you. So I wanted to make sure I was pulling those beautiful people out that were educated in what they were doing. They were passionate about the outcome for their clients. They were really invested in them. And I wanted to shine a light on them. So we created this platform where they can share articles and give messages about who they are, what they do, and a little something for you to take away and work on and connect with. And we grew really fast. I think the first year we got 250,000, and now we're at 1.5, over 1.5 million subscribers. And we like to swap it out. And I always give everyone a free article. We vet them first. They have to meet with me because we do not allow curative claims or diagnoses because there is no such thing as a blanket curative claim or diagnosis. And so we want to make sure we do no harm. That's the whole point of the magazine. But it's filled each month with these beautiful articles from like we just have one of the world's fastest runner on writing an article. Miss Arizona, who's all about holistic and serving others, was on our July cover. And so we have some pretty incredible people that are really invested in their field. Because we're on this show, one of the people we had on was Mark Anthony, who is a psychic medium. He's doing a Netflix series right now, but he is phenomenal. He's been one of our writers since we started in 2019. So he's a regular columnist. And he brings these beautiful stories with the science kind of behind, like it's real. This energy is real. What you're seeing is real. This is all real. And he puts the science behind it. And so he does amazing work with us. But the magazine is a huge heartbeat for me to be able to give back to the world and create this beautiful ripple effect of change and healing for people. So I love my magazine.
Aw. And thank you for mentioning Mark Anthony. We just interviewed him maybe in the last 2 weeks, hit it off. He's already coming back on. I'm going to have to guess here, June, late May of 2025. It'll air his second episode. So he's fun. Okay, I'm going to read a passage to you. I'd love to get your reaction. It's super fluffy. It's easy. It's about compassion, love, kindness. Okay, sometimes the person next to you or a stranger just needs validation via love and compassion. A smile changes any moment, so too does laughter or a few kind words. Be compassionate to all, do it.
I don't even know how to answer that, except for we don't know what's going on in other people. So in their worlds, in their head. And so there's been this new trend of Karens, right? Out there, and they're losing control of themselves. And here's where compassion steps in. Instead of putting a camera in their face, maybe you take a breath and see what they need. They're desperate right now for some kind of reaction to them that says, you're okay, like de-escalate. So for me, that smile, I smile to everybody. Like I've done it since I was younger, and it passes on. It creates this beautiful ripple effect. So if someone cuts you off, smile, say it's okay, and watch the next person that they meet that cuts them off. They're going to be like, oh, it's okay, go ahead. But if you flip them off, the next person that cuts them off, they're going to flip them off and it just grows. So whatever little piece of kindness you get as that ripple goes out, the ripple expands and gets bigger and bigger. And so that little smile for one person is literally going to create a larger ripple effect somewhere down the road that you're not even going to see, which is kind of beautiful.
Okay, this is kind of like an eternal question for mankind. They've been asking this at cafes for the last 1,000 years, but let's give it a go. What is the fabric of the universe? Is it love? Also, how do you view this journey that we're each on? Is it a unique life path? Is it the soul's expansion? Everything is opportunity for growth and learning. How do you describe the big picture? Do the best you can.
So for me, the world is all about love. I mean, I always choose love. And so for me, that is a no-brainer for me. It can be different for everyone, and that's okay. As far as what our purpose here is, I do think it's to grow. I think it's to grow, to serve. I think that we don't serve enough because we get all caught up in our own heads, right? About what we need at the moment, and we've got to take care of that. But if you're always in the mindset of service, you're growing. And I have a new book coming out called The Yet Factor, and it's literally all about this. It's literally about changing what's in our mind and reframing that for growth. And when we do that, we put this ripple effect again out into the world that makes change. And if you learn the lesson here, you leave it here. I personally believe we return, we cycle out, right? And each time we come, we're working on the lessons we haven't learned. And so the more you learn, the less you're bringing back to learn the next time. So I feel like if you learn it here, you leave it here. And so when you come back in the next journey, you're learning something new. I love learning. I love every single pain I've gotten. I look back now how painful it was, but I look at the beauty inside that pain that brought some amazing, amazing things to me. I came into this world of touching into things through a near-death experience, and nothing looks the same. Nothing looks the same anymore. It's hard to get angry. It's hard to hold hate. Like you just understand that this isn't what I want. And good is it going to do me to take this with me and carry it around? So it's so much easier when you have those moments. But if I could just share one thing with you guys, if you could figure out a way to not get into a near-death experience, to understand this, it would be so much more amazing for your life to know that you do not have to carry this around. It is not your baggage. You've probably got enough of your own. You don't need to be carrying other people's. And it definitely changes the way you look at the world. So for me to answer that, I believe our purpose here is to grow, to help educate others, and to serve. Like for me, service is so important.
Okay, how about the headline for the near-death experience?
So for me, I had a little surgery that was it wasn't a little surgery, it was a big surgery, but I wasn't going to make it out of this surgery. I was 2 months in the hospital. I became septic, my organs were shutting down, and they literally put me on hospice because they said, we can't do anything more for you. Here's the thing. Again, I choose love always in life, right? I always choose life. I always choose love. And a few weeks before, maybe 2 weeks before I went in for this surgery, our fifth grandson was born. And I was at all the births of all my grandchildren. We have 7 now, and they're ages 18 to 7. And I was at the birth of this little boy, and my daughter, two months later, I'm dying, and she brings him to see me, and I was overwhelmed with grief. How will he remember me? He will not have one single memory of me. He won't even remember like what I smelled like. I still can remember my grandmother's smell. And every once in a while, I'm blessed with like a whiff of it, right? But I remember snuggling her and that smell of her. I remember her laughter, like she had that rolling laugh where her whole body moved. And I have these memories, right? How would he, at this young age of a few months, how will he have a memory of me? So I survived because I decided I'm not dying today. I'm working on creating a memory with my grandson. How do I make these memories? And we have built memories now for the past 13 years. That was 13 years ago. We have been building memories. We don't give gifts anymore. Christmas comes. I ask my grandkids, what did we get you last year? Because we're figuring out what to get them. I don't remember. None of them. 7 grandkids. Nobody remembered. I will tell you, even their parents didn't remember what they got last year. I'm like, no more. We are not buying gifts. We're creating a memory. So now they get together and they decide what kind of memory they want. And we take them all on a trip. So we've been to New York. We go to the beach. We've been on so many amazing adventures together for the last 13 years. Now when I say, what did we get you 2 years ago? That was when we went to New York and we did this and we got to ride this. And so they have these beautiful memories now that we've created as a family instead of spending money on gifts that they're not going to remember.
Okay, we're going to get to how you help empower people, but we're going to do it through an angel in a second. And you just inspired me to leave everyone with the memory of a show where we're not under limited time here. We got about 40 minutes left, but I want to make sure we leave an impactful memory on everyone. I'm going to light sage early, blow it to you. People at home can catch sage through two screens. You're in Germany, New Zealand, it's 2030. Time and space isn't what you think it is. This is a red-tailed hawk feather I'm holding in my hand and some sage. There's a beautiful blue crate and barrel tea light in there to protect the rainbow colored abalone shell, if I said it correctly. I'm lighting sage. You only have to just breathe, relax, and oh yeah, set your intent. Ask the universe, angels to make it really nice. Jana, what do you suggest to people to set their intent? Should they talk to people before bed in the morning or before they go out on a run? What's your tip?
Um, for me, every morning I set my intent every single morning, and it's about what I want to accomplish for the world, not for myself. What can I do for others to bring it to me, show me?
Ooh.
So that is my intent every day.
Bring it to me, show me for some love from angels, the universe. Let's do it. Jana Short in LA. Some people start tasting it as I'm lighting it. You can just smell it if you want. Using the schnoggin without using the schnoggin. Smelling without smelling, as the Zen folks would say. Oh, we got smoke now. Okay. So I'm wafting some your way. Are you already getting it in LA?
Yes.
Okay, last bit before I snub it out. People can do a triple tiered tiramisu without the calories. Sage, flowers, ocean, and if you want to go crazy, make it a 4-tiered thing. Ask for something special. Are you getting any flowers yet or ocean that couldn't be out the back door in California?
I am.
What are you getting for flowers?
I'm getting summer flowers, like wildflowers.
You're the best. And I will do 2 more quick things. I got to think what they are. Have you seen auras all your life, only twice, once a year, or is it make it stop, it's constant? Where are you on the seeing people's energy scale, or do you just feel it generally?
I feel it mostly, but I am an aura seer, and it's between the all the time and almost never stops.
Awesome. I'm going to do the Celestine prophecy thing with a really weak background. Black's fine, but blue sky is number one. And I'm going to do it this way, but in India, they do it this way. And as a guest who was alive in the 70s, I was born in 1968, but I don't remember this. In the 70s, they were doing this way before the movie came out. So she said it was before the movie. Either way, I'm going to put my fingers up. You can see my energy. It takes 5 seconds at home. Just do it from the heart. And you get a dad joke, most importantly, and you're hearing a new one in a second. The fruits and vegetables decide to throw a nighttime garden party. They string up the nightlights to hire the best DJ in town. In the middle of the party, an excited carrot jumps up on the picnic table and yells, "Let us turn up the beat." And what filament of light do you see between my fingers, Jana?
Bluish green.
Yay. And that was it. Last item before I put an angel up in front of you, but it's going to be to talk about what you do for folks, but in a new light somehow. This is the angel who's coming up in a second. I'm in Texas. You're in LA. Only my highest intent, not my bill paying side of me. Just love and above. No drama, just Rama. But if you're game and only your highest intent, put your hand up and we'll feel each other's vibe. Only the highest intent. Can you feel a little sparkle, a little vibe?
Oh yeah.
Yay. And do you mind using words for that? What do you feel?
Vibration.
Yay. Good enough. Okay. And then Joy's going to give you a couple. You're already a walking encyclopedia of a lot of different topics, thanks to the magazine, but thanks to your own experiences. Again, hypnotherapist, NLP, lots of other modalities. What is Joy reminding you of? An angel who's the emotion Joy. What is she reminding you of right now to talk about?
Um, Something very unusual that happened to me very long ago. Okay, I'm going to tell you.
Please.
So, I've always seen angels and knew they were around me. As a matter of fact, Joy's the one I give all the credit to when people ask me, how do you keep going? How do you do all the doctors? How do you do this? I said, I wake up every morning filled with joy. That's my answer for everything because I do. I wake up every morning filled with her. And she reminds me on the few mornings, not often, that I don't, like, here I am, what's happening? But there was a moment in time for me that I had this brand new Jaguar and I loved it. And Jaguars don't have cup holders. And any woman knows the first thing we look for is where is the cup holder, right? And so they don't have cup holders. So I remember I just gotten an iced tea and I pushed it with some documents that I had just taken to the lawyers to have signed. And so I pushed it against it so that my drink would not roll or move. And I'm driving and I'm right by the Ontario airport. And if anyone knows this area, they're going to know the road that runs right along the back. And I was running right along the back and just doing my thing, not, by the way, this was so long ago. I didn't have cell phones in my car. The cell phone we carried was in a box and it had a big strap and you had to pull it out and pull it in and plug it into your lighter. So I didn't have anything like that, but I'm driving and all of a sudden this drink flies up over my papers and lands and I slam on my brakes, which I don't even know why I did this, but I slam on my brakes to pick up the glass because these are signed documents already. And I slam on my brakes. And the minute I hit my brakes, there was this compression in the air. And it was a loud, all I could hear was a loud sound. And I felt like this big vibration. And when I looked up, the car next to me had gone through the intersection where I would be, was hit, and all 5 of the people in that car were killed. And I was frozen. I could not move. I still got chills. Like they're saying, yep, it was us. But I hear this knocking at my window and I look over and I roll the window down and he's like, are you okay? I almost hit you when you hit your brakes. How did you see that car? I'm like, I didn't.
Oh my
My
God.
drink fell. Like my drink fell. And I'm like, how did this happen? But it was insane that I was not in that intersection and the car flew by me because it was a green light for us. That person ran a red light that hit him. And it kept me from being in that intersection at that time. There has been so many of these things that they have interceded in my life because I hadn't finished my purpose. I hadn't gotten sick yet. I hadn't had all these things, all the education that I needed. And by the way, Mark does a reading for me once a year. And one of the things he told me, which was so clear, I have always told myself I'm living on borrowed time, right? Because I was told I wasn't going to survive. And none of my diagnosis has changed. I still live in the same diagnosis of I'm dying. None of it's changed. But here I am 12 years later. And he's like, your angels and your ancestors want me to tell you, get that shit out of your head. You are going to be here a very long time. You have work, very precious work to do, and you're going to do it. You're on the right track. But and I'm like, how does he know that that's in my head all the time, that I'm living on borrowed time? But I have been protected and pulled where I'm at. And no matter how sad your destinies seem to be to you, they're not. They're beautiful and they're for a reason.
Jana, did you hear all the music go off, the dingers, like we're in Vegas in the slot machine? Because now it's lightning round in the show. What you just shared was absolutely incredible. Oh my gosh, people need to check out John Borgos's interview. He was at a light where his grandmother knocked his baseball cap off. It's a red light. Had he gone forward, it turned green. He's like, no, I'm going to get my baseball cap. It's in a car. His hat just gets knocked off. He reached back, an 18-wheeler went by at 70 miles an hour through the red light the other direction. He would have gone in a normal green. He waited an extra like 5 or 6 seconds to reach back and get the baseball cap. He would have been gone. That show and your show, immediately I was like, oh my God, 2 of those stories. Yours was incredible. I'm going to put Joy up. If you don't mind getting a private compliment, plus flip that pancake about your story about your time on Earth. Have her give you something private and just say, got it when you got it. And if you want to get a little squeeze on the shoulder or feel light past 3, good. You are fast. Here's Archangel Michael for you. Get an answer, get a hug on anything, but get something you can quickly share with us before I go to the next angel. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Everybody at home can put your hand out. I always say breathing through the mouth. You don't have to do it, but you do it, it relaxes your body and it turns up the volume.
Okay.
What'd you get?
He was telling me to pay attention to my health.
There we go. Now, Charlotte can follow up. She's everybody's favorite school teacher from childhood with words meant to help you expand. If you like ancient Egypt, though, you'd want to hang out with her. What's she say for all of us to remember?
She's just telling me yes. So I think whatever's going on our heads right now, right at that moment, she's giving us a solid yes, move forward in it. But
Ooh.
it is a big, loud yes.
Cool. This one's been termed by a guest who ended up not being a guest, but has written 11 books and immediately said, "This is Mother Hawaii." Another guest said, "That's her guardian angel. It's my guardian angel, but there's 80,000 of us who have her as a guardian angel." Min is good enough, like Minnesota, Lakota Sioux word for water, soft spoken professor. And lastly, to run out of breath here, she's light waves of energy and water. Anybody who wants to smell Hawaii coming in, Wailea, Kanapali, do it. You catching any Hawaii?
I am. As a matter of fact, the word eruption keeps coming in my house or in my
Ooh.
head. So abundance, right?
And so and Uwala, by the way, is a Polynesian morning glory vine. Sweet potatoes in the ground, morning glories up top, real morning glories, but it's still a sweet potato vine. Don't ask me. Ua and La in Hawaiian is rain and sun. So her name is Water Rainbow, Water Morning Glory. Just call her Min. What do you got from Min?
I got something from her, but it's about receiving. So again, abundance. We block what we can be receiving because out of fears or whatever. And she's telling me to be in receiving mode.
We all need that reminder. There's a lot of giving going on, and then we get stuck. Can you talk to us about getting stuck and how when that happens, it's not the worst thing. Sometimes we need a break from all the moving forward, the hustling and bustling. What's this all about when we do ebb and flow in life?
You know, I love that you're asking me this because this is literally what my book's all about. And it's okay to be stuck. I believe everything happens in its own time. So all those wrong paths we might have been on before we get corrected, we're learning something. We need to take down that corrected road, right? So for me, the ebb and flow about being stuck, most of the stuff in our heads we've developed when we were young, very young, and it's things we've overheard, things we saw. I'm just going to use it around money because it's the easiest one for everyone to relate to. We hear things like, you can't afford it, quit asking, you're being so greedy. We hear these things as young kids, and I get it why our parents say that, right? They don't think it's going to stick in our head and create these money boundaries for us, but it does. And when you hear that pop in your head, so a money situation comes up, and what happens is that loop pops into the fore. It's like a trigger, right? Pulls to the front of your head, and you start, this thought process starts. I don't want to ask for a raise, I'm too greedy. I don't want to like look like I'm asking for too much, right? I'll just work harder. And these things pop in from things that have been ingrained in us. By the way, a lot of this comes from generational traumas. Depending on where, like people who are Jewish, they have a lot of generational trauma coming forward from the things that they've been put through years and years and years and decades ago, right? So I want you to hear that thought process. And here's what you do when you hear it. Recognize it first. Why am I thinking this? Like, these things may have protected you when you were younger, it helped the family, keep money or whatever that was, but it's no longer serves you. So I want you to first recognize the pattern. Where is that coming from? Why do I keep thinking this? Why do I think I don't deserve a raise? Why do I think I'm being greedy if I ask for something I'm earning? I want you to think about that. And I just want you to make a shift, right? A small shift in that pattern. For me, call it the yet factor. I haven't asked for my raise yet. Here's what happens in your beautiful mind. Everything you need in this world, by the way, you have between these two beautiful ears, everything you need to make anything possible. So what I want you to think about is, I haven't asked for my raise yet. And what the brain does is it hears the word yet, and here's what it starts doing. Yet, wait, what does he mean yet? We better start thinking about what's coming. He said we're not doing it yet, which means it's possible we're going to be doing this later. And all of a sudden, this new pattern very slowly starts that creates, like, if we haven't done it yet, we're receiving that we might be doing it. He's saying we didn't do it today, but we might tomorrow. And so all you do is start adding these new little words into your thought pattern. It doesn't change overnight. I want to tell you, this is a thought pattern that's come in from the ages of, a toddler to 7-year-old. These are things that are ingrained in you. But once you start recognizing, you start making the shift, your brain doesn't let it go. It remembers it, right? And so every time it pops up in your head, the negative thought, wait, I haven't done that yet. but I'm working really hard to get it done later or to improve on it or to ask for it. It starts putting those seeds and that vision into your brain that we are going to be asking for this, not today, maybe next week, maybe next month, but it's going to happen. And so all of a sudden it starts planning that, because what does our brain do? It's like a computer. It only works on what we feed it. It doesn't understand the difference between you telling it a lie, I'm not worthy, or you telling it the truth, I am. It doesn't know the difference. It just takes what you receive it. And one of the things I learned that I think you guys would love to use on yourself is, if you hear your brain talking to yourself, you look terrible today. What the heck is happening? If a stranger came up to someone you love, I don't know, a child, and said, oh my gosh, they look terrible. What were they thinking going out like that? Your mama bear would come out and say, hey, don't talk to my kid like that. We have to start being mama bears for ourselves. So when you hear someone, if it's not okay for someone to say it to someone you love, it's absolutely not okay for you to be receiving that from yourself. So I'm all about self-talk, self-love, and changing our thought patterns. Mark, I'm going to bring Mark up again. He just wrote this most beautiful article, and it was all about how it starts triggering these lights in your brain. Like they start shooting off like electricity, the positivity. And once they start shooting off enough, immediately when someone comes and asks you something about money, the new loop pops in and it'll start taking over instead of that negative loop that pushes it back. So I think that it's super important for you guys to realize where those patterns come from. They're not necessarily yours. They're not even necessarily in this generation. And start receiving those and making those little teeny shifts that get your brain on board with making a change. And I still work on mine all the time. I'm doing a really big event. We're going to start the very first Holisticon. And we're starting with a 2,000 seat venue and then moving it to convention centers. And I have been terrified. And I keep saying, well, I can't have that. And I can't do that. And so I was like, wait, what was it even your breath coming out? So I still find myself, when I get into a bigger, scarier situation, that old loop pattern moving forward. And so I have to be like, you're right, absolutely. And I have to adjust my way of thinking again so I can move forward.
Beautiful. Hey, we haven't met two angels yet, Audrey Hepburn and Claire. I'm going to read a quick passage from a book written by angels, if you can trust this, and take it with a grain of salt. Here it is. I'll make it as quick as possible. What's up with mankind? Why angels now? Awareness for mankind is on the horizon. Call it a spiritual awakening if you wish. It's a chance for all to grow. Mankind is ready for more unconditional love and compassion for all, and more compassion by all for all is needed. Mankind's ready for change from rat race mode. Happiness is obtained in the absence of ego. Ego's afraid to be vulnerable, to let go, and to be in the unknown. Again, there's nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Move past seeing the negative. Compassion can be taught through one's own actions. How? Slowing down would do a world of wonder for most people. Doing it consistently is where the problems and opportunities lie, so stay present. Start right now. Letting go means less thinking. Do not get lost in perceived tasks, roles, ego, etc. Being in the moment is to do compassion for all. What's your reaction to that?
Being in the moment is my favorite thing that you said, being present. I'm going to relate to real quickly, as you're raising kids, people will tell you, oh my gosh, they're so sweet. Be sure you're present, because if when you blink, they're gone. They're grown with kids of their own, and it happens so fast. When you're a mom, you hear that, but you don't really receive it. And honestly, I blinked and my kids I have a 46-year-old daughter. My kids are all grown with children of their own. And so it happened. Here's the thing for me though. I learned a very valuable lesson. I didn't get that time back from my kids, but now my grandkids, they're called do-overs. I get to like totally be present. I just told you, I just had two of my granddaughters here. I took everything off my calendar. When they talk, I'm in their face, listening and being a part of their lives. And they're going to remember that my Nana always listened. She was always there. Like when we were talking, she was engaged in our conversation, no matter how silly it might have been. But I'm really all about being in the presence, because I know from a near-death experience, can't go back and change anything, right? I can adjust as I move forward how I want to do that. And I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow or the next minute, because I don't have control over that. So being in the present is the best place in the world.
I love it. Okay, are you ready for Audrey Hepburn, Angel? But it's a historical photograph, and we all know photographs can't move. But You knew there were no limits as a kid. A little adulting got in the way. We're back to no limits. Let her wink, smile, eyebrow goes up, something, shoulder waggle. Everyone's gotten something different. Get a private answer for something. Catch a French perfume yet to be invented. That's just to die for. Gorgeous. Hear her voice. And then if you don't mind getting a topic from her to share with us all. And let us know when the photograph moved. The brain will say, no way, Jose, I didn't just see that. The heart says, oh my God, do that again. That smile's to die for. And breathe, breathe, breathe at home. If anybody needs extra help letting go, squeeze your fists, turn them into open palms, or breathe through the mouth. Heave ho like you're in a mean yoga class. I'm the mean instructor yelling breathe.
I got it.
What'd you get?
I got a smile. But it wasn't until I got the message in my head that she gave me the smile and telling me that it is a true message. And my message from Audrey is, and it's what I've been talking about this whole time. Audrey Hepburn, in case you guys don't know, she was obviously a beautiful actress, but she was a humanitarian. She was always in service of others. And she wants us to understand that there are people we can be helping constantly. She was also a huge influencer, right? Before the days of TikTok and as an influencer, people are always watching you. So any moment you have, we're all influencers. This is like really hard because people think an influencer just has a million followers. But the truth of the matter is we are all influencers. We're influencing our kids. We're influencing our coworkers. I'm influencing you now, whether you like it or not, here on this beautiful show. So we are all influencers. Always show up as your best self, right? Even when you don't feel like it, remember people are watching. They're getting their cues from you. Give a smile, like you said earlier, where one's needed, but always be in service. And as an influencer, who you are, always be putting your best foot forward. But for me, she was all about being a humanitarian and in service. I think that also was her happy space when she filled with joy.
I love it. You're going to meet Claire in just 1 second. She's all about resilience. I've got 3 tiny little paragraphs for 30 seconds that was later on the same page. This is all from Angels. If you think I wrote it, thank you. This is about man bringing peace and joy to all. This is about your personal growth in your life and finding the next stage in your soul's development, as well as the continued evolution of mankind. The greatest gift is allowing. All is growth and change. This is frightening for some. There's nothing to do here. Slow down the doing. I think you just said this. Instead, breathe, smile, and relax. Appreciate all. Kids, grandkids, everything. Compassion for all is life. This is also about acceptance for all. Regard others as yourself, generously and without fixation. Believe in all. It is much simpler than people think. Again, this is because this is not about thinking, but less thinking. Open yourself up to life. And here's Claire and Angel. Catch what you can catch, feel what you can feel. If you want to get whooshed big time, get whooshed like you're on the dance floor. And what's Claire got as a reminder for us, or a chapter of your life, or something that you know how to share blindfolded, riding on a bike backwards, smoking a cigarette. Not that we recommend smoking. It was holistic tobacco.
I got it.
What are you getting? Okay, good.
Claire's reminding me to always be in receiving mode, right?
I love it. We're breaking up a little, but we'll blame Angels for this. High energy,
I
high
feel
five.
like 100%. But for me, Claire sent a ton of things about receiving. There's so much out there. People think there's not enough abundance in the world, but I promise you there is enough abundance for everyone. So open the doors and be in receiving mode, because so many times we've been asking for something and it's been right there all along.
I'll do 2 quick quotes, and if you can respond any way you want. Positivity is abundance. Blame Angels for that one. Positivity is abundance, but there's a lot of other ways to phrase abundance, so you're about to probably explain more in a second. And then another one from the Big Mary. She said, love is everywhere. Open your eyes to find love. I think it's the same way with abundance too.
I do. Abundance is everywhere, and so is love. Here's why. You ever heard the old phrase, I'm looking for my soulmate? This person was my soulmate. I don't call my husband my soulmate. I call him the love of my life, because he is truly the love of my life. But we were born with our soulmates ready for us, and it is us. We need to understand that we are our soulmates. All of our opinions, everything, it's about us. If you cannot love yourself, somebody else is not going to be able to come in and love you. There is no second half of you that's going to complete you, that you're looking for in this world, so you could be a complete human being. You are gifted this beautiful life as a complete human being. You are your own soulmate.
Mm. Brilliant, beautiful. You've come in like a Jedi lightsaber. I wasn't ready for this today. You're an amazing, crystal clear, high vibe individual. I'm going to put 4 archangels up. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. I call it rainbow pie slices. Take it for what you will. They're in light energy form. Feel the vibe, but if you could hear either in unison or them ticking off some answers, one final reminder and one final direction. What should you be talking about with us?
Movement. They're moving.
Oh, did you
They're
see them
taking,
moving? I
yes,
didn't do it. Like it was not me.
no.
Blame angels. Yes.
Movement, like they're telling us to move. Don't stay. You don't have a lot of time. Get moving. And they're moving forward with us, right? In that movement. So we're not moving alone. Those scary steps are okay. I tell this to people all the time. You have to do the work yourself. That's on you. But you do not have to do it alone. So we have to take those steps that they're showing us, but we're not alone. They're with us the whole way. They're moving right along with us.
Okay, Jana, this is a 3-second exercise, but no one's done this on a show before, unless it's our show. And once in a while I do this. I forget most of the time. Name any color you see in a normal Bic light or flame. Yellow,
Orange.
gold. Yeah, thank you. Now, give yourself permission to let go. See my light as if it's a Bic lighter off the fingertip. What are you getting?
Yellow.
Okay. And then I got one final figure. That's it. Unless you want Mary, and you'll let me know if you want Mary. Here's Dull Knife. Wisdom, unconditional love, spirit guide. Wisdom with some humor, like a mountain range. Very proper and formal, beautiful. You can start catching sage, sweetgrass, juniper, tobacco, one of those 60 sacred scents in the air, not sments. What are you getting in the air first?
I I feel because I don't know if I'm getting confused because he just looks old or he's telling me to listen to the wisdom of others.
Ooh.
So I'm like, is it because he looks older and wiser? But for me, the message is like, listen to the wisdom of others. Like, don't always think you know it all, and be open to receiving like what they might be contributing to your journey.
I'll sneak in one more. Gentlest mom in the world, red shirt. That's actually his name, red shirt. Lakota Sioux Chief. He's wearing a U.S. presidential medal given by Roosevelt the day after the photo was taken. He was on horseback, Pennsylvania Ave with Geronimo in front of the White House. He is the sweetest, softest, gentlest. What are you getting from him?
So I feel like I've met him before.
That's
and,
good.
and I'm going to tell you that he's telling me you can win wars with love.
And you get a bonus. My dad died in 1970 when I was 2. Off the coast of Italy, it was his time to go. He knew he was going to go early. F-4 Phantom fighter jet, Black Aces crash at night. No body recovered. Put into Arlington in 1998. A woman walked 3 pictures right after the military sedan left my mom, with the little telegram notice that your husband's died. I'm 2. They left, and a woman walked 3 pictures down of Dull Knife, red shirt, and Geronimo, done by Jack Davis, who's passed away now about 4 years ago in his 90s. He did 16,000 drawings before computers existed, but he did Dull Knife, red shirt, Geronimo. Everyone knows this artist because he did Mad Magazine, the Alfred E. Newman cover. And he's got a little spot in the University of Georgia where he must have gone, where they keep in the museum some of his drawings. But here's Geronimo. This is what started it all off for me. He's action, 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 dry wit, informal. Like, yeah, nah, duh, just do it. What's Geronimo's reminder to you and us all?
Charge.
Oh my God, you're the best. Okay, very last act. Then you've done this a million times. You know how to close out a show. So that's going to be all you. But I'm going to put my hand up one more time, but it ain't what you think it's going to be yet. I'm going to whoosh you rainbow light 3 times. Sorry, I'm having fun. You've been an amazing guest. Like, I'm feeling your vibe. And so you're like automatically invited back on every 6 months, but it's up to you. We'll talk off camera. Here's 4 archangels. Hear that you're rock star groovy good with this. It's not me whooshing any of my light. I'll connect with you this way in a second, but I'll whoosh you 3 times rainbow light, low, medium, and high, but you could go high, high, high if you want to. Go big or go home. You're already home. Have fun with this. If we can connect only our highest self, not the bill paying side. Here comes the first rainbow light like thing. Let the whoosh go up your back, the whole chakra thing. Here we go. And I'll blow. My microphone's here. It'll be a little Hawaii, but blame angels again. Pitch a little Hawaii in the air and rainbow light.
Yep, I can even feel water.
Yay. And do you mind using a few more words to describe what you got?
Oh, so I got on the beach, then the spray splashing my face. And
Oh, perfect.
the smell is amazing.
Okay, the second's coming, but for your Holisticon and also your book and all your other projects, you get a lot of sticks in the fire. Get a little extra wind in your sails for August and September, and let's just say the rest of the year. Why settle? Okay, here comes the second one. Medium, turn up the volume, breathe extra, folks. Up your back. And Jana, was that a little bigger?
Yeah.
Okay, the third one's going to take the cake, and it's go big, go home. You're already home. Go big, but breathe extra on this one and ask for all the wind in the world, all the angels in the world. Here comes, it's not me, it's angels. Blame angels. Here we go. And how was that last one?
It was big.
I didn't do it. With that, what's this all about? We're in a thing called life. There's a lot of thinking going on. It's like the casino moment in Casablanca. The gendarme, chief of police walks in, points his finger at everyone, says, I'm shocked to see there's gambling going on in this casino. Meanwhile, a waiter steps up, sir, your winnings in an envelope. And he's like, oh, yeah. Whoops. Arrest the usual suspects. That's our thinking going on. You're not here to tell us to think more. You're here to tell us to allow more, love more, be more. What's this all about again?
What do you mean? What's this all about? It's all
Life.
about
What are we
you
spending?
and your,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all about you and your inner selves. And you can't change the world. The only person you can change is yourself. The only person you can work on is yourself. You can sit there and love other people as they're going through their journey. But you can only work and change yourself. So if you guys can just focus in more on yourselves and the beauty of who you want to be or you see yourself as. Oh, I just want to leave it with this last piece. There is no place called perfection. It doesn't exist. Like you're never going to have the perfect body, the perfect hair. I live in Studio City. It is the Studio City because we're surrounded by movie studios. I go to the coffee shop and I'm surrounded by actors. My neighborhood surrounded by actors. They do not look like they look on TV. So I'm going to tell you, there is no such thing as perfection. So quit striving for it. Just try to do better for yourself each day, baby steps, and find joy in that path.
Oh, Jana Short, you've been an amazing guest. This has been far too short for the show, but I'm loving the fact that we might have you back on in the future. You've been amazing. Thank you for being on Angels, Positivity, and Love.
Thank you, Michael. It was a real pleasure. By the way, I kept my stone with me the whole time.
I love it. Thank you, Jana.
Bye, guys. Thank you.